What's up everyone, N55 Morris. We're here for another video. This is more of a vlog style I'm going to tackle today. Don't worry, I'm not going full vlog style on this channel like many others. Nothing against it, but we have a little more get ready with me, kind of informal video. We have a lot of work to do. As we know, we have my 335i in the background back there in the sun. We have my boys M235i. We have a lot of work to get done. In the garage here, this is actually a valve cover, JDM Speed, and from Parts Avatar, we have a Mahle gasket. Then we have, as you can see here, oil cooler gaskets as well. Replacement oil and the Valvetronic seal, NGK spark plugs. There's a lot of stuff to get done. And on my boys' car, an event front mount intakes. Of course, I went with the red. Everyone knows my swagger, and we'll start with the black on the M235i. So when I film on my car, it'll actually be a full walkthrough. So I'm gonna set everyone up on the tripod as I start tackling and removing everything. It's not gonna full walkthrough, as you know, everyone knows how to do a valve cover gasket, oil cool gasket, all that stuff. These cars are not new. It needs a wash, but anyways, I'll see you guys on the tripod. Alrighty everyone, quick pause. I think I'm an hour and 10 minutes in based on the time lapse. I'll move the light back here so we could all see together. I'm pretty sure I got everything off. As you can see, I taped up all the injectors where the lines go. Funny enough, my car is an LCI, a little tidbit, and I guess LCI from the initial N55s. And because of that, these fuel rail on the new ones, so like if you have an M235i, actually let's walk over to his right now. A lot of people don't tell you, as you can see, M235i's and should be mine, these are one piece. So here, and then the nuts over only on this side. So if you were doing this on, let's say this car, you would have to remove the entire fuel rail because as you can see, they're like one piece, I don't know, it's welded or peened or crimped or whatever the case, but you have to remove this over here. And of course on the plug out the sensor, and then this entire thing would come out. But as you can see on my car, I actually cracked my fuel rail nut a while ago, and at the scrapyard, they gave me one which was a pre-LCI, which they have the nuts on both sides, which of course makes it way easier. Don't know why BMW did that. However, as you can see, everything else is done, removed. I am finding this last one in the back. It is quite a hard angle to get to. There it is. So I'm just put a swivel on it, and that should be my last one. I'll put you guys back in the tripod. As you can see me, I struggle to remove the entire valve cover assembly. As you can see here, I finally have it removed. The background noise is someone trying to run out their lawnmower. As you know, we're getting ready for spring, but as you can see here, engine's looking quite dandy. No gunk with any springs. I change my oil often. I change my oil frequently, and I swear by this stuff. People say snake oil or whatnot, but I use it every single oil change. So here it is. You can tell right there. That's where it was burning some oil. So I'm gonna hit with some brake parts cleaner and try to clean up this mating surface here. As you can see, it is quite dirty, and even here as well. So I'll shove some towels in these ignition coil ports, get the cleaning, and then I'll show you my little life-saving life hack for installing the valve cover. So we see on the ground we have the OEM valve cover, and then next to me I have the JDM Speed valve cover. A lot of the people in the forum say this works really well. They do have all the, I guess, similar stickers as we could see, but over here, I'll place this down. And over here we can see I did get the Mahle gasket. They are the OEM manufacturer for BMW, so this is why I got this, especially because, as you know, I moved. So because of that, I got these shipped, and BMW only offers paid shipping. So I would suggest everyone remove this gasket out from the existing valve cover that you get from JDM Speed. I haven't heard people too much complain. However, I just prefer using a little bit of OE stuff, for at least for gaskets. Okay, so as we see here, I have some RTV. This is the red stuff, or you could do, this is great, the gray, or I know people have the black, it doesn't matter. One tip I will say to everybody, this is a good time to grab a drink if you do, or take a break if you don't. So you get some of this gasket maker and you just dab a little bit on the corners. So not only is this going to make it a little bit more durable, you don't want a lot, just a touch, but it's also going to act somewhat as a glue, because as you move this over onto the engine bay, as you can see here, there's a lot of stuff. There's oil lines, believe that is the, I can't remember the top. I'm not going to say it because I'm not going to say it wrong. I'll just put it on the screen. And as well, trying to get back here, you do not want this gasket to drop off in that place. If it pinches, it will leak a bunch of oil. Then here goes another 4-hour job. So back here, you can see here, as you come in close, I'll put this down. It just, once again, a little bit in the corners. And this will act as a little bit of a glue almost. And you can see here, just like this. You let that sit for at least 30 minutes to kind of par cure. And that ensures, like I said, as you're trying to bring this over on top of the engine, this doesn't drop out. So I will continue to do that for the rest of the, I guess, the buckets for the injectors, as well as the valve cover itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners. Do the same thing, let it cure for a little bit, take a break, and that will make sure it stays there and doesn't drop out how you bring that over. So I'm just gonna repeat the process. You guys know what I'm doing. Once again, let it cure for 30 minutes and you'll catch me on the tripod when we're ready.
On screen now, I show you the torque sequence of that valve cover. So snug all the bolts up and then put everything down to 8.5 Newton meters, which is 6.27 foot-pounds. I prefer to go over torque sequence like this over twice due to the close proximity of other bolts. Some bolts next to it may lose that clamping force, so work over twice with a torque wrench. I have a nice digital one here. Shout out to my uncle. Appreciate that.
So we're back on another day. To see the valve cover is completely on. So at this point, you would basically just start reassembling everything. So kind of like this piece. No idea what this is. I was fighting everything in my willpower not to break this thing off. This piece goes up to here. There's a screw that mounts it back. And then the engine harness here goes along to here. Don't forget, and then when you put the engine harness, the ground bolts, ignition coils, fuel rails. However, I'm going to replace my spark plugs right now, so I don't need to show anybody that. So I'm going to start prepping with that, and then we will move over to the oil filter housing gasket after the car is in air and getting ready to drain. So I'll catch you when I'm ready for that.
This process begins a lot like an oil change, like many of us are already used to. 3 bolts holding on the oil cooler, and another 3 bolts, I believe, holding on the oil filter housing. The last bolt in the back underneath the manifold, I elected not to remove the manifold. It does make it kind of tight, but with enough combination of stubby wrenches and flex heads, I was able to not remove that entire intake manifold, my MEF system, and the DME. I decided to do the Mickey Mouse flange while I'm at it, since everything was already removed and the car torn apart. However, as you see with me fighting with it back and forth, this is because the bolt holes were actually not aligned. So make sure you double check that. I did do some extra drilling, but I had to get out to work at the end of the day.
So everyone, that is the conclusion of my little get ready with me with the car edition. As you saw before, I did the Molly gaskets here. See, I did try to clean up a little bit. I had some industrial cleaner and it made up a lot easier. As you know, in Canada, their brake spark cleaner is kind of trash right now. The Mickey Mouse flange, that had some issues, as you probably heard in the voiceover, but it is in, as well as I retightened up all the bolts for the intake manifold. And as you can see, the brand new valve cover gasket. Once again, I just capped off the bottom and I'm leaving the PCV open because I still got to do the intake, and that's going to land in here, and I don't want that to impede me. So I'm going to fill this with oil. Now that is good to go, prime it, and I should be ready for the next install. So once again, thank you everyone for joining me, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys on the next one.